Hey guys, it's Crystal here, and this time I'm going to be doing my top 5 for Season 2 of Steven Universe. So let's jump right in with my number 5, which I chose Keystone Motel. It was always one of my favourites, and I always enjoy Ruby and Sapphire. They're adorable, and it's a great episode all around. There's so many good jokes too, like Sapphire's deadpan lines as well with the future vision. That's always fun. But it's always good to see in the end they make up and refuse, because, even the closest couples, they fight and they work it out in the end. But basically, Ruby and Sapphire are adorable. Which leads me to my number 4, The Answer. We finally get some backstory to Ruby and Sapphire, and it's great. It's good to see how they first met, because it shows the beginning and progression of their relationship. It's a really interesting relationship to watch, and I really enjoyed it. So what else can I say? It was pretty good, and yeah, the animation was not my favourite, but as I mentioned in the review, it's because Steven's imagining it and Garnet's telling him the story, so I can't be too mean to it, and I still enjoyed the episode. It was fun seeing back in the past, like we also saw Rose and Pearl, who called themselves the Crystal Gems. And we saw that Ruby and Sapphire were on Homeworld's side at the time. They didn't really get much choice to leave Homeworld, but I guess in the end they're probably glad they did. Moving on, for number 3, I chose Too Far. You guys know we love Peridot on this channel, and this, I believe, is quite a pivotal episode for Peridot because, well, in the end, she has to learn to apologize and admit when she's wrong, and she learns about people's feelings and how feelings can get hurt. That kind of thing probably didn't happen much on Homeworld. No one really expressed their feelings at all. And at first, she probably didn't think she was affecting anyone's feelings. She felt like she was just stating facts. And it's really relatable when you feel like you're just telling the truth, but it could hurt someone. Peridot thought she was just describing Amethyst and describing how she was supposed to be. But she just didn't understand how that could affect Amethyst's feelings. But this is definitely the episode where they become friends, because in the end, she does manage to apologize. I like how she struggles to say it, so she just plays her recording, because recordings are a great way to talk about things without anyone actually hearing you, because you feel like you're not actually talking to the person. That's why it's usually so much easier to say things to people over text, because you can't see their reaction. But yeah, but then again, Peridot could... I can just imagine how scared Peridot might have been when she played the recording and she had to watch Amethyst react to that. And I just love that powerful moment in the end when Steven asks how she feels and she says she feels big. And that was a really important lesson for Peridot to learn. Moving on to more Peridot, for number 2, I put Log Date 7152. I almost considered it for number 1. It's a really good episode. Some people might have been disappointed because it is the end of the season and it doesn't feel like a finale. But it still wraps up the Peridot arc nicely, because while we've still got the cluster to deal with, I like how it kind of wraps things up by showing those little bits here and there of her life, because at one point when Steven gives her the stilts, he says it's been 1 month. So, yeah, we're really just seeing little bits over a long month of working on the drill. And I think it was an important episode because she finally becomes friends with Garnet too, because she tries to understand fusion, which is important because it shows that Peridot is starting to learn empathy, because not only, she feels bad that she wasn't able to understand Garnet properly, and that shows that she does have the desire to understand the others around her as best as she can. She definitely does try to understand all the others by asking questions, even if it's not related to stopping the cluster. Like, for example, when Amethyst was shapeshifting and, Peridot asks questions like, do you always use shapeshifting like this? She tries to understand who they are and what they do and why they do what they do. And it's just a really fun episode too. It has the most random jokes too. Like, there's the whole shipping moments, and she pushes Greg off the roof. That's always funny. And it's definitely one of my favorites. It came so close to being number 1. But what I chose for number 1 was Catch and Release, because, it was the first episode I ever saw, and it must be really good to have been able to get me into the show. I was just talking about a great ending to the Peridot arc. Now this is a great way to start the Peridot arc. She is stripped away of all of her devices and enhancements, and she has to just be herself as she is. And that's hard for her. But she still feels superior to all the crystal gems, but she's scared. Like, in the end, when she's locked in the bathroom, she's always asking if something's a weapon, and when Steven jokingly rolls up a towel, she flinches. She's scared. She doesn't know what's going on. She knows the cluster's going to emerge, and at that point, she probably doesn't think that they actually can stop it. So that is quite a scary moment for Peridot, and it's the episode that made me love Peridot too. Everything she does is amazing. It's probably the one that made a lot of people love Peridot, because, I don't know, just something about her being smaller, it makes everything better, and she's cute, and she's an angry little slice of pie, and all those things wrapped into one. It's amazing. We love Peridot, and this was the greatest way to, I don't want to say introduce, because we had seen her before, but to reintroduce Peridot as she is now. And it shows who Peridot really is. With that being said, there's not much else I can think of to say, but it was a great episode. And I hope you liked my top 5. That's all I can really say. And I guess, pretty soon, I'll end up doing a top 5 for season 3. That'll be fun, because we're already about halfway through season 3 at this point in recording, so I already know some ideas that might go on the list, but we'll see. So that was my top 5 for season 2 of Steven Universe. Hope you enjoyed, and if your favourite wasn't on my list, please let me know, and I will be interested to hear why you like a different episode. So, yeah, let me know what you think about this top 5, and I will see you next time for season 3. See you next time, guys.